is our block, block. This is our hustle. This is our block, block. And the way that we struggle, struggle. This is our block, block.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome to our block.
Yes, y'all look good out here.
Yes, we're so happy that you're here. I'm your host, Ron.
I'm your host, Raven Paris. And shout out to our DJ,
Our DJ,
DJ Knowledge.
DJ Knowledge, the baddest, the flyest, the youngest in the gazette. Yes, we're so glad that you're here. Today we're going to be talking about blended families.
Blended families. Does anyone out here have a blended family? Raise your hand. Yep. Same.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
What's your experience with blended families?
You know, I grew up in a blended family. My mom, I was about seven,
Okay.
seven. And my mom got married, and it wasn't the best. It wasn't.
I want to be in
wasn't
your
the-
business really quick. Before your mom got into a new relationship, was she currently with your dad?
Oh, no. But
Okay,
you're not
so you
Oprah, so don't get too far in my
Okay,
business.
all
But it wasn't, I don't think it was the best. The situation was a little rocky. We just never
Clicked.
blended. Like we would always be, and of course, you know, he still tries to be there, but it's just like,
Oh, so was it you?
it could have been me. It's still, it ain't me. I don't know.
Am I the drama?
I don't know. Am I toxic? But anyway, my mom finally got a divorce, and I think it was for the best, to be honest.
Did
How
they
about
have
you?
any kids together?
Oh yeah, so I have two little brothers,
Okay.
and so, yeah, it just never, you know, for me, it just never blended.
Well, that's crazy. I'm not gonna say it's crazy because you do hear those stories where as though it just did not work. But I was blessed to say my stepdad has been in my life probably now since I was about 7. My parents was married. I don't really remember them being married, but my parents was married. Then they got divorced, and it was just me and my mom for at least a couple years. So I've known my stepdad though since I was about 7 or 8 years old. He's been present, and I've been blessed to be able to have my dad and my stepdad. And even down to me getting married, I had both of them walk me down the aisle. So I feel like at first it was a little uncomfortable for my dad because, like, you know,
Of course,
I'm here,
of
I've been
course.
around.
I'm the
but
daddy.
I'm the daddy,
Yeah.
but I've been blessed to have 2 daddies that has always been present. So we've always blended. But I also have other siblings. When it came down to my dad, I have 3 other siblings, and growing up, me and my brothers, we just did not get along. We was raised differently, our moms were different, and I don't know if it stemmed down to maybe our moms having issues that, you know, passed down to the kids. Whatever it was, we did not get along, but as we gotten older, we've developed our own relationship. So everyone pretty much blends now.
And I think that's a good thing, Raven, because we always hear about the stories where it doesn't work
Yeah.
out, right? But there are some stories out here where it is a good blend. You know, you look at TV and you look at the Brady Bunch, and you're thinking like, there's
We're
a
gonna
story
live like that.
of a lovely lady, and then everybody just comes together, and it just works out everybody's best friends.
And
But it's
it
not always the
doesn't.
case. Most families who actually blend like that really don't work out. But when you think about the word like blended family, I'm more of a person who like to deep think.
Yeah.
I'm a deep thinker. I like to think into things very deeply. With that being said, anything you put in a blender can't be an easy process, right?
on,
When you're making something and you're putting ingredients
Yeah.
together, they don't always just
don't always go
meld
well
together.
together.
But you put it in a blender and it's like that, zzzz, and things are literally being melded together by knives,
Yeah.
right? And so it's a process, but for you, that process was amazing, but for
worked.
others, it wasn't. I would love to hear from people in our studio audience who have experienced this process of blending, and how has it been for you?
And we
Anybody had a
also
question?
have-
Anybody want to talk about it?
Yeah, as they're coming up, I want to also share this. As of 2019, it's more than 3.9 million children who's lived in a household with a step parent. And as of 2020, there are about 128.45 million blended households in the world. So can you imagine now ongoing what that will look like?
Well, because nobody comes without a child nowadays.
I I know.
And I think that's that. You're gonna,
I'm even now a stepmom as I think about it. So
yeah,
that's
everybody got a
really
child.
crazy.
You're not gonna find a lot of. It's the traditional way of raising a family is it's rare, right?
longer
It's
traditional.
like mom single with no children, dad single with no children, and we come together and we make children. A lot of times people have experiences, journeys, and now they have kids,
Yeah.
and they blend together.
Well, now you have a question? Yeah, come up and share.
So what's your name?
Callan.
Callan?
Callan.
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 Got it.
Yeah.
Tell us about your story.
All right. So for me, I was sort of kind of already born into a blended family. It's 11 of us. On my dad's side, it's 10 outside of myself. So in all, it's 11. My mom, she has me and my sister, so it's the two of us. But all of us, my mom made sure that we were together because the older half of my family, like the first five, were really, it was like real dysfunctional, so they wasn't really tight as the last five were. So we made sure, my mom tried to make sure that we were all in each other's lives. 'Cause my parents got married like when I was like 11 months years old. So my mom made it like mandatory that we were in each other's lives regardless of what was going on. My mom got remarried when like last year, last 2020, August 2020. So when my dad, it was already blended like with everything, whether it was baby moms, wives, or just so I was already used to that on my dad's side. But for my mom, it was real fresh for me to see her with another guy, even though my mom and my dad had their differences. They were still co-parenting, they were still good friends. So I've always wanted my parents to still be together to this day. But it's like it ain't work out like that. But it's okay.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel sort of kind of like, I mean, heartbroken for real, because everybody wants their parents to be together, and it's always been me, my mom, and my sister. So it's like whenever I could see my dad, I would like really want to see him. So it was difficult not really having him inside the house. So now that I have this my mom's husband now, now that he's in my life, I met him like when I was in 8th grade, so maybe like 5 years ago. Um, it was sort of kind of rushed, and we didn't really get to have that connection as stepfather and stepson or whatever. So
And so why do you say rushed? What do you mean by that?
it was like rushed. Like my mom and him had their connection, but I say like 5 months in or something like that, we were able to meet him. Then after that, he moved right in. So I wasn't able to adjust to my mom being in a new relationship and him coming into my house.
And so in the house that you live with your mom, you're the oldest, right?
No, I'm the youngest.
So you're the oldest boy.
No.
Okay. So you're the
But
youngest
it's his
boy.
house.
So, because you said this is my house, you moving into my house. What was that about? What was that transition? And walk me through your thoughts, your feelings. Were you vocal? Was it something that you just kept in? This is what we're here for. I mean, these kind of conversations is what our block is about. Tell me more about it.
All right. So for me, it was always just me, my mom, and my sister. So when I say my house, I mean I was always the man of the house. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
That's what I meant. In your house,
Yeah,
you were the
so-
oldest boy in that house.
yes, I was the
Got it.
only
That's
male in that
exactly
house.
what I felt.
So
Okay.
having him, come in the house, stuff changed, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna work like that.
So it's not gonna work like that. So how does it feel for another man that's not your father telling you what to do? Is your father still alive? And so that's another layer here, right? So it's like my real biological father is deceased, and now another man wants to take his place and then come in my house and tell me what to do. How did that work for you?
Well, I mean, it's not like that. It's not like that.
Okay.
From what I was told, he's not replacing my dad. That's not his. That's not his goal.
Okay.
I feel like his goal is to just create that bond for me and him because we don't really have it yet. But replacing, it's not really in the motive. It's not even in the picture. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So but it was definitely different, even with him being that my dad was passing as my mom and her husband were together, it was like I was losing my dad, but you know, like you have both. I wasn't able to get that experience, so it's like I'm losing my dad, and I had this guy that I have to, you know, call my stepdad, but you know what I'm saying? It's not the same.
And you said something earlier. You said it won't work like that. What is that? What did that mean for you?
Um, just like he wasn't gonna like come in and take that step and just take in charge. I feel like it would just be easier for him to step in and you know try to work in with me and my sister first than him telling us what to do.
Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, first of all, let's give Caroline a hand.
Yes.
Sharing your story is not an easy thing, and I appreciate you coming on our block and sharing your story. And by you sharing your story, other people like you, other kids like you, are able to benefit off of that. So let's give them one more hand.
Yes. Oh, y'all have a question? Come over to the mic.
You want to go first?
No, you can go first.
Okay. Hi,
Hi, what's your name?
my name is Zion.
My name's Dewan.
So we'll bring y'all over here to the block,
So
to
we
our
act-
block.
sorry, we actually do not have a question. We just want to share our experience of being a blended family.
Okay, what does that experience look like?
So we actually have two different moms.
Okay, same as me and mine.
Yeah, and I am older and he's younger. And
By how many years?
two,
2. You're
Two.
17, I'm 15.
two. And it was kind of weird because our whole life we've been in a same vicinity because we went to the same elementary school, we lived in the same neighborhood, but we never were really raised as brother and sister in that type of way. And there was also that kind of he hangs out with my dad a lot more than I did when I was young. So it was a lot of friction in our relationship at first. And then our moms got together and they were like, hey, our kids need to be together and they want to know each other. So we worked on that and now we're really, really close.
Wow, I love that. That spoke on my experience where it was me and my older brother because I know our parents had some friction coming up and that could have impacted my older brother because he was older. I was younger, so I didn't know much, but it created some adversity between y'all two early, right? So what were your thoughts of each other? Like, I know I have a sister, I know I have a brother, but we don't have a relationship. So what did that feel like?
I mean, for me, it was more of I really didn't know her. So all I knew is that she was my sister, but I never got to see her because she never really was like came over, was allowed to come over, at least from what I thought and what I knew. So I didn't know much of her. So I obviously seen my other brothers and sisters, but I didn't know her at all. So we end up finding out that she went to my school.
Wow.
And she lived around my apartment complex. So that's how we got to know each other. And then I went to her birthday one day, and then we just got together after that. And we was just real close.
Did y'all ever get to speak openly with y'all parents about each other and have that communication?
I mean, I know I did. I did want to like get together with my siblings
Yeah.
because since I stopped talking to my father on my own personal reasons, I haven't been able to see most of my siblings other than her. So when I do get together with her, we have like real fun times and all that stuff. But I would like to do that with some of my other siblings, but I don't get to see them like that. So I'm gonna enjoy the time that I can spend with her while I can.
I love that, and that's very big of you guys to come up and share that. So clap it up for y'all. Thank you so much. Aww. Is there anybody else who want to come and share their experience of having a blended family? Oh, is that a dad? Come up to the mic.
How you doing?
Hey, what brings you over to our block?
Just kind of wanted to share my experience with a blended family. Me and my wife have been together 23 years.
Come on, 23 years.
Going into it, I had 2 children prior to that.
Okay. Did she
And
have any kids?
No, not at the time. Going into it, it was a little rough. Not so much with my daughter, but my oldest boy. He didn't really take too well to it. She came into their lives when they were 4 and 2. So he was 4, she was 2 years old. She's raised them pretty much their entire life. It took him to get a little older before he accepted. I think she gave him everything that he wanted in a mom, just not from her.
His mom.
So it took for him to get a little older. I ended up getting custody of him when he was in the 4th grade.
Okay.
So he moved in with us, and I mean, from that point, she was mom. In our household, there's no such thing as stepchildren. They're all our kids.
Our children.
We're family, pretty large size, but
Okay.
you know, we tend to take in other children and different things like that. So like right now we have one of our sons he just attached himself to us, and you can't tell him he's not
That
ours.
he's not.
Yeah, you can't tell him that, and we treat him as such. We treat him as if he's one of ours, as if he came from both of us, and we take care of his daughter just like that's our grandchild.
So y'all were taking me and Ron?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Let's clap it up just for really good dads. That's amazing. We love that. We love that. You know, Raven, this is what our block is about, right? Where people can come and share their stories.
And be vulnerable.
And yes, and induce conversation, because a lot of people aren't brave enough to speak out about it.
And a lot of parents don't even allow their kids to speak out about these topics. It's stay in the child's place, not realizing that kids, teens, we all have feelings. We all have been there. We all can relate. So we just need to create that dialogue.
Yeah, and those who are in our audience and people who are watching and viewers, I want you to understand that family is not just the people that you are born to, your biological people. It's family is where the love is, where your support comes from. My family is growing daily.
You know my family, Ron?
You know, oh, I love it. You know, it is growing daily, right? Home is where the heart is, not necessarily where you're born.
Hold on, and also, our block right here, everyone who's on our Instagram, our block TV show, you're a part of our family as well. Everyone who's in the audience with this, you're also our family.
Definitely.
Just let them know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Ron.
I'm your host, Raven Paris. Shout out to our DJ
Knowledge on the ones and twos, the baddest, youngest DJ in the land. And give yourselves a hand for joining us. We couldn't do this without you. So all the people who are viewing, we love you. We appreciate you. This week you were on our block. Next week we may be on
Yo
your
block.